And good morning and welcome to the Wild Jokers here on Comedy 24/7 for Phoenix, Funny 1260 AM, 96.1 FM. I'm Len. He's Brad. How are you, my friend? It's been a week and, I've been longing to have conversation with you. How are you?
Whatever, man. I've talked to you like 14 times in the last 6 hours.
I know. But when it comes to talking on the air, because, boy, it's a lot changes in a week.
Yeah.
We have some exciting news that we got to talk about. We're going to have some comedy nights coming up.
I'm really excited about this.
Well, it's amazing how when I'm walking around and talking to different nightclubs, different bars, different venues all across the valley, how there is kind of almost a crying out, because we have all the big improvs and everything, but for the local stand-up acts, where they have like a speakeasy type night, a comedy night.
Right.
Most bars have karaoke. Most bars have music nights, different themes, whether it be rock, country, hip-hop, R&B, whatever.
But, it's interesting because even the different variety of people that have been interested in this, I think is kind of where you're going. It's kind of, I think, a little bit surprising, but not that surprising.
Not at all.
And everybody loves comedy.
I think it's kind of putting it all together where we're actually going to be a package deal, reaching out to every community. I mean, literally individual nightclubs and bars, whether they be in Mesa, Scottsdale, Gilbert, Chandler, Ahwatukee, Central Phoenix, North Phoenix, Cave Creek, etc.
Hey,
across the
we'll
board.
even go to Ajo if you pay our travel charge.
You just said Ajo in the show.
Hey.
They need some love.
Well,
They do.
It's a short name for a place, but it's a big town.
Well, I'm
but.
excited to announce, though, we are booking our comedy nights, which are the Wild Jokers comedy nights at local nightclubs and bars. And we actually have our first participant. They were kicking actually this fun and frolic, 2 hours of comedians.
Fun and frolic, you said.
Fun and frolic.
Yeah.
Yes. Brad.
Fabulous. It should be the fabulous fun and
frolic.
And
we got to thank our friend Henry over at the What the Hell Bar and Grill in Mesa. All right. We're kicking it off March 4th. Now, we're going to have, this is the deal. We're going to have depending on the shtick, because every comedian, some of them go long, some of them are more short, quick bursts. Anywhere between a range of 3 and 5 comedians in a night. And this is what the fun part of it is. For the local comedians who aspire to be a comedy act, we're going to showcase them on Wild Jokers Radio here on Funny 24/7 Comedy for Phoenix, AM 1260, of course, 96.1 FM.
You got it right that time.
I did the first time right too.
Right.
I know. I
Just
got
making
corrected.
sure.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm on no lashings for Len this week.
No lashings. You'll get lashings. That's early in the show.
I know, of course. But we're taking the show March 4th out to Mesa, East Mesa, at the What the Hell Bar and Grill, and we're going to have our first stand-up night. Now, here's the active participation, and we need you to come on out and support this, is we're actually going to vote on the comedian, and this comedian is going to get a shot.
Actually, you're going to get to vote on the comedian. We actually hand out ballots
we're
to
gonna
all the people here. And
this is a democracy, how we're running this contest. So what's cool for the comedian is this. This is the reason they want to do it, is they'll be featured here on the radio station. But number two,
assuming they want to be on our show.
Assuming they want to be on show, but why not? If you want to be a comedian, why wouldn't you want to have exposure? Of
course you would.
On the only comedy radio station in Phoenix, Arizona.
And the only programming on the comedy station in Phoenix.
Right? Well, I mean, you have our comedians that are all
what I
going
mean.
and going.
But
we're the ones who are on the streets.
We're the local guys with shtick, not just the international players.
Yeah, we're the guy next door. We're at the local tavern.
Right.
And we try to make you laugh.
So we're, feeling the pulse of the local area.
So, once again, March 4th, What the Hell Bar and Grill in Mesa, which is at 7303 East Main Street. Actually, it's on the corner of Main Street and Sossaman. And it's going to be a party night. It's going to be a lot of fun. But here's the advantage for you, the listener, coming out. We're going to hook you up. We're going to have tickets we're going to be giving away on our comedy nights. So between the comedians, we're going to have different, whether it be different stand-up shows to go to, and we're going to have other swag and gifts to give to you. So we encourage you to come out, besides the fact when you do come to the What the Hell Bar and Grill here in Mesa, it's affordable. The meals are delicious. I mean, you have everything
It's a good value.
Oh, yeah. The lunch and dinner menu combine into the evening time. So you have everything from the sandwiches to burgers to fries.
I was going to ask you about that, because I'm thinking, a lot of people later in the night wouldn't mind a little omelet and something, to help soften up that.
Something to hold you over.
Yeah, right.
Especially the sandwich, the big burgers. I mean, and their coating, actually, the lovely Michelle and I actually came out.
The lovely Michelle.
And had a couple drinks. And get this one, we split a quesadilla.
I know you've changed a little, Len, because in the old days...
Who's got the ADD on the show this week?
Wait a second. I had to say this, because, I'm just paying attention, because in the old days, you wouldn't say I had a couple drinks. You'd say I had a couple toddies.
Well, yeah. I'll have a couple cocktails. I've said this
I think
before.
maybe you're maturing a little bit now. You're getting close to 40.
He's just Every shot to get.
And you know what else?
You always do.
I have to say one other thing. I'm a little disappointed in you today.
Why are you disappointed in me today?
You are sans flannel today. That means without flannel.
It's in the truck. It's supposed to be in the 80s today.
Well, you still have your seasonal sleeveless ones.
I still have those, but I dressed up for the occasion.
Okay, fair enough.
I was so excited.
I just wanted to point something.
I wanted to look nice for this big announcement because we have our first comedy night, March 4th, at the What the Hell Bar and Grill in Mesa, where we're going to showcase local comedians, give prize giveaways to the folks that want to come out and hang out with us, as well as this comedian is going to be showcased on the show. I think this is a win for everybody.
And
it's
you know
a trifecta of fun.
There's not a bad seat in the house either.
No, and it's going to be kind of like, as I said, it's a local bar hangout. But here's the cool thing. It's going to be kind of like a Vegas dinner show vibe. That's what we're kind of doing with this, where you can have some drinks, you have some dinner, and hang out. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what it's all about. And you're going to have more details here on the Wild Jokers here actually later in the show, as we're going to catch up with the owner.
So wait a minute. You said Vegas-style night. Does that mean there's going to be like topless showgirls?
No.
Oh, I just was making...
You can't do that.
I thought maybe you were going to surprise me or something.
No, that's after the bar.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
That's for you, Brad, right there. So once again, because we have to actually digress from this big announcement, because we do have some giveaways to do as well. The What the Hell Bar and Grill Comedy Night, the first one that's kicking off the Wild Jokers actually comedy circuit here in the Valley of the Sun, kicks off March 4th. Once again, What the Hell Bar and Grill, actually the address is 7303 East Main Street in Mesa on the corner. It's Main Street in Sossaman. If you need more information, go to www.whatthehellbar.com. They're on Facebook or call 480-380-6000. Once again, that's 480-380-6000. So, anyways, it's been a rowdy, radical week, my friend. You're a family man. You got kiddos.
I do.
I'm sure. Have you ever had any colorful conversations at the dinner table that have been just a tad bit unusual? Because last night I had one of the most unusual ones. You know my adopted family now, considering I've been taken in by
They're
family.
wonderful, actually.
It's been
You're
a blessing.
A lucky guy.
Well, considering I'm like an orphan before this, I really was. It was just kind of me and my dog, and I had a horse, and I just kind of roamed the desert.
Don't forget the chickens.
The chickens too.
Okay.
I had chickens.
I always try to give props to the chickens.
Anyways,
I think that's great.
My girlfriend, the lovely Michelle, she's got two lovely daughters, Morgan and Taylor. Got to give a shout out and some love to them. But they always have colorful conversation. The age demographic with the young ladies, as I'll call them, is 16 and 13.
Right.
And I'll tell you something. Boy, do I not feel like a hipster when I start chatting with these young ladies. They are on top of the game. They are.
Of course they are. They're at that age. They
literally, when you have a young lady that's of the age of 13 talking about weenus.
Right.
What the hell?
And I know what you're thinking.
Excuse me. Yeah. I sat there because, I'm still an elder.
Right. You're not an elder. You're really old. Compared to them.
38 years old is not that old.
When you're 16, anything over 20 is really old.
I guess so.
Yeah.
That's very true. Actually, I used to think when I was, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, you thought your parents were like 200.
If you're approaching 40, get off the walker.
You're ready to push up daisies soon.
Well, there's this term. And first thing I think, profanity. This is not.
Right. You're thinking out of a 13 or 16-year-old girl, something like that's not going to be appropriate.
This is something a little unusual.
Right. I love it.
And I'm going, because, I know the human anatomy. I have done, I've been somewhat educated in that way, where I've gotten to junior college, at least, of education before I jumped into radio. So she's talking about the weenus with a W in front of it. I'm what in tarnation? So I text you, of course.
It was pretty funny. I was sitting with my son.
And how old is your son?
He's 13.
Now, okay, this is what even more is amusing about this. He knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, I asked him what it was, and the first thing he did was pinch his elbow.
And it's that flap of skin on the elbow.
That's right.
What in tarnations is people thinking about in describing your elbow flap of skin, something so close to the description of a male anatomy part? It does not make a lick of sense to me. Brad, help me out with this, because I've never reproduced that I know of. But my goodness, what is going on with these names for little flaps of skin on elbow, or they got some weird...
Well, it's kind of funny.
Because I started looking them up.
You bring this up because I actually had a conversation with someone the other day, and we were trying to talk about, the little thing in the back of your throat. It's called a uvula.
Oh, okay.
And we were arguing because the person kept saying they thought it was a vulva, and I'm like, no, that's part of a woman's parts. That's
and I just at the end of the day, I just want to know where the name is so similar to, as I said,
well, right,
the male member versus your elbow. I mean, there's nothing even remotely close to the same thing, maybe other than, depending on religion practices, maybe the flap of skin. But perhaps that's about it.
If you'd like to know, its root in Latin actually comes. Just kidding.
Of course. So I just wanted to know. I mean, we were that age at one time, but how awkward is it though when you hear that? I mean, am I wrong on this? Right?
I don't. I think maybe for you because it was from girls. It might have been a little bit. If Michelle had a little boy and he said it, you probably wouldn't be as surprised.
I'd probably start laughing.
Right.
Well, do you think there's a double standard in rearing since you have?
Well, I have one of each, and I will tell you there can be. It's just like anything else. You always look at your daughter to protect her a different way than you protect your son. There's
but when a little girl, when a young
repeat.
lady, let me rephrase this, a young woman starts talking about weenus, it raises your eyes.
You start to wonder, what is she all about?
But what's that? Yeah. W, what does this mean? I don't know. I'm confused. So that was
that's
my
not
confusion
hard.
Point. On that note, since I'm getting out of the confusion of this weird late-night dinner conversation, I feel in the giving mood right now because I want to give a pair of Renaissance tickets away to you right now.
Away.
I am the Santa Claus of this comedy station. You betcha. I just want to keep the gift that keeps giving, and those are Renaissance Festival tickets. We are actually going to be giving a pair of Renaissance tickets away now.
Yeah, those are worth $22 a piece, man.
So we're big savings right there, $44 right there. It's a bad
now you
economy.
can buy that many more turkey legs.
Exactly. Huzzah. As you always say. Yes.
Well, that's what they say there.
And we do have another giveaway we're doing actually in the third segment of our show. Actually, we'll do it right after Brad's beat on the street. We have Carlos Mencia tickets. Wild Horse Pass coming up February 28th. Which
don't
is going
want to miss
Oh,
that.
You don't want to miss it. Great seats for that as well. But why don't we go to the Extreme East Valley for the Renaissance Festival tickets first? We're going to do caller number 7, lucky number 7, right now at 602-303-5869. Once again, the digits are 602-303-5869. I'm going to hook you up to go eat turkey legs, say huzzah, and dress up in bunny gear. I'm going to actually wear a flannel with a jester hat, I've decided.
You got a flannel jester hat?
No, I'm going to have I wish I had a flannel
See,
jester
that's
hat.
what you need.
No, that's what I need.
That's more your style.
Exactly. So, bottom line, that's where
so instead of the little jingly bells, would you put like cowbells on it?
Perhaps, maybe. I'll definitely get some style points.
You can market that, Len.
I think so.
We should put it on the website.
We honestly should. While we're waiting on our first winner for the Renaissance Festival tickets, I got to ask you, Brad, what have you been doing?
Well, we had Tony on the show last week from ComedySchools.com.
And it's fascinating. I must admit, that was my first discovery of Comedy School.
Super cool guy, super cool concept. It's definitely something that even if you don't think you're funny or you just want to check it out, or maybe you do presentations, check this guy out. He has workshops. He even offers a workshop for free to see if you even like it. So in the meantime, I decided I would take him up on his offer to come check out, the actual event that they do. Every Friday night, they do an event at the Tempe Arts Center down on Rio Salado in Tempe, right on the lake down there. So I figured, you know what, I'll bring a lovely lady and go check it out. And I just have to tell you, what a great time. And I just have to say special thank you to Tony at ComedySchools.com. Really appreciate the hospitality. And everybody needs to check this out. It is definitely a very economic, value-friendly evening. They have food. It's
the ticket prices, just because what it all encompasses. What was the ticket price? The
ticket prices start at $8.
$8, okay.
Yeah, and he has different. Here's different things. He has little VIP packages and stuff. And
but the package of entertainment for $8.
$8 includes food. It includes food. A happy hour food before the show.
Isn't there music?
Well,
he was talking about sometimes they have music. And different things.
A little bit, but it was more about the food. He had some entertainment going on, but with the food, and then the show started about 7:30, and it was definitely a good time. I really appreciate the fact that Tony was so welcoming. And
also, Tony is the one when we're talking about here at the beginning of this segment here on Wild Jokers, was the fact he's hand-picking these comedians that are doing the Wild Joker comedy nights, which this guy's an all-star. He's been doing this forever. He came from back in the 70s, early 80s, heyday of the strip in Hollywood comedy scene back in the day when all the bigs were working it down there.
Well, I can tell you what, if he provides the kind of quality that we had last night, oh man, our listeners are in for a big treat. You definitely have to come out to our comedy events.
Yeah, and it's going to be the up-and-coming talent, but also they're headliners here in the Valley of the Sun as well. But why don't we do this? We're actually going to be catching up with the owner of the What the Hell Bar and Grill, Henry coming up because we're doing our first comedy night, and we want to make sure everybody gets out to the What the Hell Bar and Grill. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They open early and stay open late as well, and they have a lot of also great themed events in evening, live music, great food, and the drink specials. Somebody, I enjoy a cocktail, and I like also
a
toddy, cocktail, beer, whatever, anything that is the
Anything
adult
you can
spirit.
pickle yourself with.
Perhaps, yes. I learned from Dean Martin, and I learned well. The value is fantastic, and we're going to catch up with him and just talk about his wonderful place to come out to and have a good time, and that's what it's all about here on the Wild Jokers. You're listening to Comedy Radio 24/7, funny, AM 1260, 96.1 FM. We'll be right back.
And now we're here with Jeff from Orangutan Home Services, actually Orangutan Security, which is part of Orangutan Home Services. How are you today, Jeff?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So Tell us a little bit about Orangutan Security.
Well, Orangutan Security is a 15-year-old company. Been in the Valley protecting homes and families from bad things that are going to happen, because we all know it's going to happen eventually. We're also a authorized Security Networks dealer, and Security Networks does all of our monitoring. We do the installation. It's a great partnership, and we just protect families every day.
So what do you think is one of the biggest concerns of homeowners in the Valley?
I think home invasions would be the biggest concern people have, with Arizona being the number one leader in home invasions. If you take Detroit and New York and you add them together, Arizona's still bigger than.
Well, I'm actually from Detroit, so that makes me
explains
feel a little better, I think.
Yeah, well,
I don't know, maybe because I moved here, it affected the number.
I wonder what you were doing for a job in New York,
maybe
or
some
Detroit
people,
before.
Maybe they followed me, I don't know.
Maybe you were the one doing the home invasions.
Yeah, right.
So if we want to keep our homes protected from you, you need to get one of our security systems.
So what's something special, let's say, that you guys offer with your home security system?
We offer remote panic buttons with every alarm system for this reason. This way you can take that remote panic button, put it wherever you spend the most time, in bed, Brad, you in the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I think you were all right the first time.
So you could carry it around with you. You could take it outside with you. You're in your yard, something happens. I mean, even something as simple as a stray dog comes in your yard and you don't want to go near it. You don't want to get bit by a dog. It hurts, right? So you could press that panic button. It calls the police department. The police show up to your house. They know where you are. They know who you are, because they were dispatched by Security Networks, and they're there to help you, and you let the professionals take care of what they do.
And you can literally have it anywhere in your house you want. It literally can just be in your hand, in your pocket,
Absolutely.
around your neck.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Okay, well, how do we get a hold of you, Jeff?
You can reach us at 1-800-O-SERVICE and just ask for the security department.
So it's definitely a good place to call if you need any kind of home security help, monitoring, installation, and the remote panic button. That in itself is worth, I think, anything. And you said that the systems actually cost nothing to install?
Yep. Actually, we have our specials where for our customers, we do a zero upfront cost, and it's just a low monthly monitoring rate.
So basically, you're going to pay monitoring no matter what kind of alarm you have.
Absolutely.
So in this case, you're just paying the monitoring, and you get the alarm system with it.
There you go. And we're going to install it too.
That's great. So call 1-800-O-SERVICE, ask for the security division, and get your security system installed today.
Hey, it's Len and Brad from the Wild Jokers hanging out live at Cactus Jack's with the lovely Jamie, the bar manager here. I need to pick your brain because there's so much activity going on here at this bar. Tell us about some of the night activities here at Cactus Jack's.
So we've got several different things that we do. Thursday nights we have karaoke, and it's not your normal karaoke. The people are actually good. You want to hear them. Yes. They're actually very, very good
Even
singers.
with a few drinks in them?
Even with, I think they get better with a few drinks.
Do you participate? Because I heard you singing like a songbird here.
Yeah, but no, I don't do that.
You don't. Well, lovely
Really?
voice, though.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take that into consideration.
So karaoke, what else do we
Yes.
got?
We have live music on Friday nights. We also do pool tournaments Saturday afternoons. And we have Texas Hold'em tournaments every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night from 7 to 10. Or 7 and 10 are the games.
That is just totally awesome. But what about live music? I know you have some live music here.
We do Friday nights from 8 to 12. Different band every week. Play everything from country, classic rock, new age stuff.
Lots of variety.
Yes, very.
That's simply fantastic, and that's
What
what we're looking for.
what about happy hour?
Happy hour is so happy. From 4 to 6, we have $2 well drinks every day. Well, Monday through Friday, I should say. We also have $5 domestic pitchers Monday through Friday from 10 to 8, and $3 domestic pints. We've got various shot specials throughout the week. Fireball shots, Jaeger bombs.
Got to have Jaeger something.
Cuervo, if you like tequila.
So a little bit of everything, which is
We do.
awesome. And you're actually here, as I call it affectionately, as Ahwatukee.
Yes.
The world's largest cul-de-sac, actually it was always known as, which is easy to find because you can find it very easily. And where is the exact location? What is the address here on the cross streets? I know it's Elliott and 48th Street.
Correct. We are at 4747 East Elliott Road, and that would be in Ahwatukee, or the Toque, whatever you want to call
The
it.
Toque.
Tukey.
That's kind of the hip way of saying
Right.
it.
The
I used
Toque.
to live in this neck of the woods, and we never called it the Toque.
Yeah, because when you left, they started calling
I
it the
guess it
Toque.
got hip once I left.
That's my point.
I think so.
Right.
I feel so bad. I'm going to cry now.
Please.
And the big announcement is Cactus Jack's we're going to be launching a comedy night here. Brad, this is going to be out of control. We're going to be bringing comedians here, giving away prizes. The beautiful ladies of Cactus Jack's going to be here as well. I mean, so we have so much going on. It's overwhelming.
I can dig that.
I can see you're just awestruck.
Autobahn Mortgage, 602-980-LOAN. That's 602-980-5626. Call Autobahn Mortgage for all your commercial and residential mortgage needs. We are friendly, fast, and efficient. 602-980-LOAN. You can also see us on the internet, www.autobahnmortgage.com. Call us today, 602-980-LOAN, 602-980-5626.
Hey, it's Len from the Wild Jokers, and for family farm fun, you know where I go, Superstition Farm. Dairy farm tours, hay rides, petting zoo, horse lessons, farmer's market, Superstition Farm. 602-432-6865, or find them on the web at superstitionfarm.com. You can find Superstition Farm at 3440 South Hawes Road in Mesa. Superstition Farm, superstitionfarm.com. And welcome back to the Wild Jokers here on 24/7 Comedy Radio for Phoenix, AM 1260, 96.1 FM. All right, we're hanging out with my old friend, my old radio mate. I used to actually, I don't know if, Brad, you know this. My friend Barry Kluger used to be with MTV and VH1 USA Network, just a man of multimedia.
He's been around a little bit. Is what you're trying to say.
He's been around in all the right places.
In a good way.
In a great way. But this is the coolest thing is I used to produce or board up his radio show. Now he's kind enough to come on a show that I'm on and talk about his career, and I'm actually the host. We're doing a complete role reversal, which I think is really cool. Barry, welcome to the Wild Jokers. How are you, my friend?
You know, I'm doing great, and since I didn't make money at the old radio station, the only reason I'm speaking to you guys is because I was promised money if I would come on and talk about my days at MTV.
Yes, bribery does work, absolutely. Now, I want to talk about that with the what's going on in the comedy scene because, as you know, it's really growing here in the Phoenix area. Comedy clubs are popping up all over the place. There's going to be a huge comedy club that's opening up in Chandler here soon. The comedy schools are all the rage, things of that nature. We actually have a promo that we're doing abroad at certain... Good?
Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, at certain bars and nightclubs where we're doing stand-up comedy. It's really taken off. What do you think about the Phoenix market and entertainment and the comedy?
Well, here's the interesting thing. Comedy has gone through a real cycle. Back when, and this I can tell you historically, back in 1991, HBO started the Comedy Channel, and at the same time, we started something called HA, H-A, exclamation point, which was HA, the TV Comedy Network. And we did original programming and we did shows. HBO's Comedy Channel ran things like stand-up, and because there were two channels at the time, everyone threw up a brick wall in a bowling alley, in a cocktail bar, and said, you know what, I could become a comedy club overnight.
Right.
And what happened, there were a lot of hacks. Everyone thought they could go into the business. And everyone knows that in any kind of field, whether it's news or whether it's comedy, you need a club that's going to bring you along, that's going to be a good environment and help you really hone your craft, not be a place where the guy's just going to make a lot of money off the drinks and really couldn't care if you were successful, because next week it may become a dance bar and the week after that becomes a pool hall. So you had a lot of people starting these businesses. Well, cable operators in 91 said, you know what, I don't have room to carry Comedy Channel and Hot TV Network. Why don't you guys get together and figure it out? So we figured it out, we merged, and that became Comedy Central.
Wow. And I remember when that all went down. I mean, Brad, do you remember Ha?
I remember Ha. It seemed like it was there just for a brief second, and I don't know that I ever really knew the real story behind what happened. That's pretty interesting that's how it really came down.
As late Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story.
Very well put. Now,
or as Casey Kasem would say, you know what? It started in a small little town back in 1971. All they wanted to do was be a comedy network while they wanted to make money at the same time.
Well, and also
that's really how it came about.
Well, that's how it came out with the comedy channels, but also the spawning of comedians. What was your observation of the talent pool that came through MTV while you're there?
Well, the comedy that came through MTV was pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
You really had the creme de la creme because you were a network. You had the powerful agents, the guys in the company West and Shapiro, who handled Andy Kaufman and all these other people. And to them, and I'm sure you, knowing about Seinfeld and knowing about Andy Kaufman, back then every stand-up comic's dream was to get a TV series. You got Tim Allen, who got a TV series. You, of course, had everyone in Seinfeld.
Ray Romano comes to my mind, even.
Ray Romano.
Even late-night talk shows. I mean, look, Craig Ferguson, he's late-night talk show. I mean, he's a comedian by trade.
Yeah.
I mean, David Letterman, same thing.
Letterman, look at Brad Garrett. Look at any of these people. Look at Jeff Garland, who I think is funny. And look at Larry David. Larry David was writing stuff, but he was also doing comedy. So it's a natural progression. Not that there's anything wrong with doing stand-up. There are people who do dates. You got Bobby Collins, you got Bobby Slayton, you got people who appear at clubs all over the world, all over the country, and it's a very lucrative job. But many of them are waiting for that really big deal, which is the TV job. So.
Well, it's interesting because that you bring that up because even Larry the Cable Guy has his show, the one where he travels around America going to various businesses. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense to have a comedian or someone with that background as your host because they always have that lively kind of lighter approach to things. And even some of the more serious topics, they're able to kind of help you see through it a little bit more, with a little less tear-jerking than usual.
Well, you know what? They also have that unique ability to draw people out. And when you can't be a introvert, except there are examples like Andy Kaufman and a few others who you don't know if they're in character or just we're not comfortable around people. But for the most part, they say comedians are insecure, but comedians also have to put it out there every day. So you're right; they're the ones who could go around and talk about the issues. Look at Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart was a stand-up, then an actor. And now, although he's, you may not want to call him legitimate news, he knows how to get people to spill their guts. Look at Bill Maher.
Right.
Maher is probably one of the best at it.
Yeah, he's legendary.
Well, mixing politics with comedy, you watch him, and even if you disagree with him, I mean, there's some stuff I agree with him, some stuff I don't. But I find him very engaging, very intriguing. He's sharp as a tack when he does a show.
Well, he's not afraid to ask the questions.
No.
That's what it comes down to.
I think it's important.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to the whole thing of being a comedian. Just like Barry said, you have to put yourself out there. And that's what these guys are used to doing. When you go and stand up in front of a room of 5 or 6 or 800 people and you don't get a laugh, that's got to be pretty nerve-wracking.
That's all like the Gong Show, yes.
Is it possible for me to meet women on the show, or is it just really an interview about...
there's actually, we're going to have our promotional models, actually, that we have that's going to be a sponsor of our show. So there is going to be some sizzle. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's the only reason I decided to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, Barry, you never change. I love you for it. But that's also one other thing on the personal side. Who was some of your favorite comedians through the years? Because we were talking. One of my heroes growing up, and he did his stand-up, but he did his late-night show. My hero was Johnny Carson. He's the reason I loved entertainment so much. He was like the pinnacle for me personally. Who was yours?
Well, Carson was great at it. Let's see, Robert Klein, George Carlin. Unfortunately, Mitch Hedberg, or fortunately, Mitch Hedberg, but he's dead. Aziz Ansari. I liked Bob Marley, not the guy with the Whalers, but
The one that's still alive. Yeah.
And then there's some stuff that is not blue at all, and which is really funny. And I listen to that often on, a comedy radio channel, not as good as yours, of course.
Oh, thank you.
So I get it that way, and I love watching comedy on TV. And it's funny, having worked at MTV, and I know I'm going to sound like a prude, but I really have no patience for Cat Williams. I can't tell you that I think the stuff is really brilliant. And when I think about some of the Eddie Murphy stuff, I think some of it was really funny versus the stuff where he was just using whatever four-letter word he can. I mean, don't be wrong. Sometimes you need... Carlin was one who often would put dirty words into his routine, and sometimes it made sense. But when it's out of context, then it's just there for shock.
I'm with you on that 100%, Barry, based on the fact that sometimes, like Carlin, he used it as a tool, like a tool in the tool belt. Eddie Murphy, one point in time, he just was using it constantly, and I think it got a little redundant.
Yeah, well, do you, I don't know if you read the MTV book that came out, not the one by the VJs, but the one that came out a year ago. Mm-hmm. And are you aware of my claim to fame?
No, well, fill me in.
Okay, I am the man who banned Andrew Dice Clay from MTV.
That's awesome. You were the one who was behind that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, in fact, it's in the book because the chairman at the time, we did a rehearsal for the Video Music Awards, and Dice had done his rehearsal, and of course, one could have just guessed that it wasn't as bad as one would think. The minute he went live, he just totally, put it out there.
Oh, and this was what, 1989?
1989.
Yeah, okay.
So what we ended up doing was, if you were standing atop of the amphitheater in Los Angeles, you would have seen three people get up: the chairman of the company, the president of MTV, and me as senior VP of PR. So we all went to meet in the lobby and realized that we had to do something pretty strong, because we had contracts with cable operators, and one of those things that you would not broadcast, you would not cablecast profanity. And the fact is, although it was comedy, one could have seen this as us violating the agreements. So we knew we had to do something. So I got on TV in front of CNN and all the others, and I said, based on his performance, Andrew Dice Clay will never appear on MTV in the future.
Wow.
And the band lasted for 20 years.
It's interesting. He was just recently doing a performance, I heard, and he went up and he performed. He was supposed to do an hour-long bit, and he came off the stage after about 25 minutes. And after the show, someone asked him why he came off early, and he thought that one of the producers was waving him off the stage, that he had gone too long. So he actually just only did half of his bit, and that was it, the end of the show.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that happened to him. So.
Well, the fact is, he's just listen. He just did and he was great at Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine.
Oh, right, yeah.
And maybe he has a career beyond comedy and Fort Fairlane.
Right, and that was about it, and that was pretty much a bomb as far as everybody I knew, and his career was just known as the Diceman. He kind of had a couple-year run there, and then all of a sudden kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? I heard him. I heard a comedy recording of one of the shows in Las Vegas, and what's frightening is it was live, and there's no one laughing, or there are a few embarrassed laughs.
Oh.
So it's, yeah.
It's always great to catch up with you, because we're almost up against the break here in the segment. But Barry, just some of the things you're doing, because besides the fact, your history with VH1, MTV, and that side of it, you've also done a ton of work with the Republic. You've had your own radio show. You're busy doing political type activities and making some changes within the government. What are you up to? Just talk about certain things real quick before I cut you.
Well, right now I'm using one of my new business cards to take broccoli out of my teeth. But career-wise, after 15 years of toiling in the public relations world, I ended up my PR firm was acquired by an advertising agency in December here in town called Noodle. That's Noodle with a K. And it's a pretty exciting ad agency. So for the first time in a decade and a half, I'm putting on suits and getting dressed in the morning and shaving.
Well, but you always dressed up rather nice when we worked together. You always had a sport coat. You always look classy.
Thank you. But I never needed to shave my legs back when I was doing radio. Now it's different. And if I could get serious for a moment,
sure.
The biggest thing that I'm working on is, as you well know, Len, I lost my only child back in 2001, my 18-year-old daughter. And I started an effort in 2011 to add loss of a child to the Family Medical Leave Act in Congress. Right now, you have a kid, adopt a kid, you get up to 12 weeks unpaid. You lose a kid, you get 3 to 5 days off.
Right.
So fast forward, there's a bill in the U.S. Senate and a bill in the U.S. House of Representatives. Has my daughter's name on it. It's got 33 sponsors in the House, 11 in the Senate. And I just found out this morning that a prominent Democrat and Republican are joining together next week to urge their particular party members to just put all this bickering aside and sponsor the bill.
See, that's something. Finally, put some bickering aside and get something done. And this, I'm with you on this, Barry. I got your back on this one totally, and I think it's completely correct. And I really, actually, as a friend, I'm very proud that you're doing something like this, because there's a lot of folks that are out there that have been in that horrible, tragic situation, and you got their back, which is really awesome.
Well, you know what? I'm a PR guy. I got a big mouth. I might as well use it for those who can't speak up. So that's my mission, guys. All
right. Well, hey, can we have you back on the show again? I'll bring the promotional models, I promise.
Only if the check clears.
Oh, yeah. It's not going to bounce like a basketball. I'll bring some promotional models, the Jokerettes, as we call them.
I'd love to. And you know where you could use me best? Let's say something really stupid happens with a Justin Bieber or a Kardashian or somebody, and you want to know, did these guys really make a PR mistake? Bring me in. I love
absolutely, and we'll definitely take you up on that one.
Love crisis management.
All right, Barry. It's Barry Kluger, and any context for PR? Do you want to solicit yourself? We'll go for it.
What, the contact for me?
Yeah.
If you want to make some money.
Yeah, everyone can contact me at barry@barrykluger.com. That's the personal stuff. It's all about me, and from there they can jump to the website and learn about the agency.
All right, Barry, it's been a pleasure. Thank you once again. We got to take a break. We're going to be right back. You're listening to the Wild Jokers here on 24/7 Comedy Radio for Phoenix, AM 1260, 96.1 FM.
Hey guys, this is Stacy Grandal, aka Boss Lady, coming at you from the Man Spot here in Old Town Scottsdale, where men stay men and women are allowed. Yes, I said allowed. This is a place created for guys. So come kick off Valentine's Day with us. Just kidding, I meant Blue Ball Month. Mention Blue Ball specials and Wild Jokers. Give us a call, 480-686-8538, and do check out our menu because it's full of laughs. SimplicitySimpleSkincare.com. Again, 480-686-8538, and stay manly, man.
Hey, Len, where are you?
What the hell?
Seriously, Len, where are you?
What the hell?
Okay, this isn't Who's on First, Len. Where are you?
I'm at the What the Hell Bar and Grill in Mesa.
Really? Isn't that the place that has the all-you-can-eat breakfast 7 days a week starting at 7 o'clock and includes drinks? What about breakfast specials and coffee every day, daily lunch specials, happy hour Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 with half-price appetizers? And don't forget the Friday night all-you-can-eat fish fry. Not to mention pool tournaments Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And every Friday and Saturday night, live entertainment, classic rock starting at 9 o'clock. Not to mention, I believe that's the spot we're doing one of our comedy shows.
And Brad, yes it is. We are actually having the Wild Jokers Comedy Night premiere March 4th, which is once again Tuesday, March 4th. Wild Jokers Comedy coming to the What the Hell Bar and Grill in Mesa.
Yeah, isn't that at 7303 East Main in Mesa?
Yes, it is. You can contact them also at 480-380-6000. Once again, that's 480-380-6000, or you can find the What the Hell Bar and Grill on the web at www.whatthehellbar.com.
Are you looking for food, fun, and libation? Come to Cactus Jack's Ahwatukee Tavern, featuring happy hour Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 with $1.75 well drinks. Thursday night karaoke, Every Friday, live music. Don't forget to show up for our poker tournaments on Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Come to Cactus Jack's, located at 4747 East Elliott Road, or contact us today, 480-753-4733. And it's Orangutan Home Services, featuring heating, air conditioning, home security, plumbing, and much, much more. Call them today, 602-906-0111. Orangutan Home Services, 602-906-0111. Call us today.
Welcome back to Wild Jokers here on 24/7 Comedy for Phoenix, Funny 1260 AM, 96.1 FM. I'm Lynn. He's Brad. We are live at the What the Hell Bar and Grill here in beautiful Mesa, Arizona, 7303 East Main Street here, once again in Mesa. And of course, there's got to be a visionary to any bar or nightclub. Brad, I mean, you used to own a bar.
Yeah, I did.
So you understand.
It was an experience.
But you understand what goes into it.
It's a lot of work.
We've made a new friend, an ally, who our comedy nights, this is going to be a destination spot for comedy now here in the East Valley, in the East Mesa area, because there's nothing like that going on here in this neck of the woods. There really isn't. And we made a friend, Henry, here, who is the owner of the bar.
The big dog.
Yeah. I mean, who runs the whole operation and everything. Welcome to Wild Jokers #1, and thank you for this opportunity to have a comedy night here in East Mesa, where, to be perfectly honest with you, when you and I met, we were talking about this. Nobody's doing it. And that's where I think we're going to have a great turnout and a great evening, because you look at this room you have here. We're sitting on the stage right now, but it's a wide open, and it reminds me of kind of a dinner show idea, kind of a hang loose dinner show vibe, which I think is kind of perfect for the East Valley. I mean, to drive the East Mesa crowd. I live here in East Mesa, Apache Junction, the surrounding areas, and I think it's going to be a smashing success because, number one, it's affordable. And that's one thing that I got to compliment you in your visionary with this, is how affordable your menu is, number one. Let me ask you, on your menu, what is your number one seller? What some of the most popular foods you have when it comes to your consumers?
Well, for breakfast, our number one seller is the all-you-can-eat breakfast.
Ooh, see?
That's my style.
Yes.
It comes with 2 beverages.
Okay.
Bloody Mary, mimosa.
Very nice.
Wow.
Draft beer.
Okay.
It always goes good with breakfast.
Well, and some of us, for some of us hard chargers out there, it's a perfect choice. It really is. And also, I mean, how long have you been in business now, overall?
At this location, we've been in business 7 months.
Okay, got it.
But What the Hell started in December of 2009.
Okay.
It was the first time we opened up, and a little further down the road, we have to relocate.
This is a great location, though. You got plenty of parking, a lot of space.
We got very lucky when we found this location.
Yeah.
This is a perfect location. It has worked out a lot better than we ever thought.
I'm curious as to how you came up with the name.
The name came about when I decided to venture to something different. And at the time, I had a friend of mine that asked me to start a restaurant. And I just kind of thought, what the hell? That's kind of how the
It stuck.
That works. That's a good story, though, you know? I mean, that's a good one.
Well, what's really cool about What the Hell Bar and Grill is also you have so many different nights here. Now we're launching the comedy nights, of course, March 4th, which is a Tuesday. We're going to be launching this activity, which I think is going to be just a hoot. And we actually had all the breakdown of how the winners are going to be, and it's going to be a democracy where we're going to be voting on this contest and how it's all going to be set up for the comedian and for the radio show and the exposure and everything, which is fantastic. But talk about some of your other theme nights, because you got a whole bunch of pool tables.
We do. We have pool tournaments. We have karaoke night.
Which is good. And also, you got a table that has some history from Las Vegas back there. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, that table actually came out of Bill's in Las Vegas. They closed it down. It's owned by Caesars Properties.
Okay.
And a friend of mine approached me, and he bought it and asked if we could put it in here.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly for
Just for fun. It's a craps table, right?
Yeah, it's a craps table. It's teaching people how to play the game.
Okay.
So it's for seminars and just to learn how to play.
Which is kind of cool if you have giveaways in different other promotional events that you have here at the bar. Let's say you want to do a Laughlin run or you want to go to Vegas or something like that, and you have a table like that, and you're educating a little bit. It really all works hand in hand.
It really does. We have several people that come here and get educated on it, and they go to Vegas and Laughlin and have a good time.
Are they successful is the key.
Very successful.
See, and that's another selling point right there. And what night is that? Because I need all the help I can get when I go to Vegas. Because I'm always coming home broke.
Actually, it's there's a phone number of the instructor,
Okay.
teacher, and you can call him up, set up
a time.
He'll come in, set up a time with him, and he'll come in and teach you how to play the game. And
That sounds like a good plan. I can tell you what, people are really intimidated by craps. They're more than happy to sit down at blackjack or anything that has cards, even if they don't understand the game because it's cards.
Right.
When it comes to the craps table, all they see is people screaming every once in a while, and they don't understand what's going on.
Exactly.
I happen to really like it myself, and people always ask me, how do you play? And I'm like, well, let's go and sit down for a while, and after about 4 hours, they get the basics. But it's a great game, and you can learn some basic strategies, and anybody can play that game. I think that's a great idea, actually.
No, it's a marvelous idea.
I was very intimidated by that game until September when they brought it in, and now we actually go to Vegas about every 2 weeks and have fun.
Now he's a professional craps player.
Yeah, not hard.
Well, and also, before we cut you loose, I want to also ask you about some of the happy hour and the drink specials and what you got going here, because me and the lovely Michelle came here, and we had a value. I mean, it was quality, but at a value price. We had a nice evening, and it was under $40.
Oh, yes, our prices are affordable.
Yeah.
We want people to come here and have a good time. Everybody's welcome in hell.
Yeah. And that's
love
true.
it.
By the way,
That's
also,
great.
your crowd, also, we were talking about this off mic here. You have a little taste of all the flavor of the Valley of the Sun, as I'm going to call it.
We do. We don't
No discrimination
No,
here.
because the thing...
discrimination in hell.
Well, and this is what I love about it is because in one corner, I mean, you had a couple friends with some bikes. Then over here, you got a guy with a cowboy hat. Over here, you got some guys just ball caps that look like they're playing in a softball league or something. It's good for everybody, and it's a wide open menu. You got a kids menu. It's just for every demographic possible.
Yes, we do. And that's what we're trying to do is make everybody in the neighborhood feel welcome.
Well, and I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate the fact we're launching March 4th, the Wild Jokers Comedy Night here at the What the Hell Bar and Grill here in East Mesa. Once again, that's 7303 East Mesa Street here in Mesa, Arizona.
That's
Once
Main
again,
Street, Len.
Main Street. I'm sorry, Main Street. And I'm thinking about Sossman and Main Street.
Yeah, You're
if
just
you-
so happy we're right near your house.
I'm giddy, actually. I almost can walk here, which is even more fantastic. If you want to reach the What the Hell Bar and Grill, you can contact them at 480-380-6000. Once again, that's 480-380-6000, or reach them on the web at www.whatthehellbargrill.com. Once again, that's www.whatthehellbargrill.com. Also on Facebook, too.
Fair enough.
I mean, you can reach out and touch them in any different way.
Basically, it's easy to find hell.
You got it. Thank you once again. And Brad, you know what time it is. We have to actually.
What time it is?
We have to transition here quickly, live from the What the Hell Bar and Grill. Also, you got to remember, Wild Jokers, before we do the beat on the street, is brought to you by Orangutan Home Services in Tempe, Arizona. And you got to love these guys because they take care of home security. Of course, your AC, which it's starting to get into the 80s
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So
It's
the
supposed
AC
to hit
gonna-
90 next week.
Well, they do the heater side of it, but that's I think going to be maybe we'll have one more cold stretch. I think.
yeah, maybe.
Well, I think we
Right.
will. I think we'll do one more before April 1. We always do in spring training. There's always like about 2 or 3 days where there's a couple washouts.
Right.
So we'll have probably one more cold stretch where you may potentially need your heating unit, but they do service there. But it is that time because the AC units, hey, they're going to be flipping on. Some folks flip them on already when it's going to be about 90 degrees
You're
outside.
better off checking it out before you really need it, too. And that's one thing they will do for you. And, you can actually reach them, 602-906-0111.
And also mention the fact you heard Wild Jokers. And there's a couple special things they're going to be doing.
They're
Because
doing all kinds of
we're
special
doing a
stuff.
contest with, if you can guess the first day we hit 100 degrees here.
Or
in
as we like
Phoenix.
to call it, the 100-degree day giveaway.
Bingo. Very catchy there, Brad. You came up, it's funny because
I didn't come up with that.
Orangutan came up with it first,
Right.
but you didn't see their little pins
No,
and everything.
that was independent of
And
them.
then you came up with the same thing, but not knowing.
Yeah, and
So
then
at
Jordy
least-
threw the marketing material at me and said, yeah, that's
We've
already
been
old
there,
news.
done that,
yeah,
buddy.
right. Thanks a lot, Jordy.
Well, so you weren't the original at this, but you are an original at something. Brad's beat on the street. Brad, Beat the street.
Okay, we're going to start first over here in the United States, and then in the spirit of the Olympics, we're going to go with an international
You're
story.
going on an international spirit, of
one.
course.
We have one. Our third story today will be an international story, just to keep things interesting, and like I said,
Well,
the spirit of the
Of
Olympics.
course.
Right. Okay. So first, we're going to start off in St. Louis, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we had a St. Louis story last week too. But regardless, it was definitely somewhere over in that part of the country. So
There seems to be a lot of going on in Missouri.
at least in the Midwest, anyhow. So check this out. So this 58-year-old man went and applied for a job, and he didn't get the job, and he was pretty upset.
Okay.
So, like most people, he decided he would mail cat feces to the company.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Did you know that's traceable?
Well,
you can
they
trace
traced
the DNA.
They traced it. I don't know how they did it, but they figured out he did it. I think he was dumb enough to put his return label address on there, return mailing address, but they figured out who it was.
Okay, no, here's the thing. In any kind of feces across the board, I would imagine, I am not like, Quincy over here or anything. I'm
Quincy?
sorry,
Really?
I had to pull that one.
I mean,
even though that was
Quincy's
a
a little old. You
morgue.
could have gone with House. He's a little more
Well,
recent.
House. Well, I go
Yeah.
Quincy. I'm old school. I'm very old school. But working on the cadavers and whatnot. But you would think you could figure out the cat. Obviously, it's its own feces. But how would you pinpoint the owner of the cat? Perhaps maybe off of the records of the cat and the tag.
Well,
maybe?
I believe what happened was in this case it was a little easier. I believe he included a note and identified himself because he was pretty upset.
Oh,
So-
that's not too smart.
Well, believe it or not, it is actually a misdemeanor charge. It is a misdemeanor mailing injurious articles. Yeah. So just in case anyone decides they want to do that, don't get too excited.
Well, no,
it's going to run you about 2 years probation.
Let's see, 2 years probation for the poo-poo platter, but I'm sure
Right.
there's a regional offense. I'm sorry on that, my friend, because look at it this way. That's the law in Missouri. Now, you got to remember, regionally speaking, each state has different laws on these things. So even though it would be maybe probation in Missouri, in Arizona, perhaps that could be a different charge.
Yeah, that'd be shallow grave in the desert time, probably.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I warn people.
The
because
sheriff's posse might show up at
well,
your door.
some folks that are listening to the station right now could say, "Oh, it's just a little probation. We're going to have some sweet payback."
Yeah, no, it's
well,
what-
in the
yeah.
state of Arizona, we're a little bit different, a little tougher. So I would think probably the crime could be substantially worse.
I would imagine. Yeah,
But I don't know.
you're
I
right.
mean, because
Sheriff Joe's not putting up with
here's
that kind
the
of
thing
stuff.
with
He's not putting up with that crap.
Well, you have experience with cat feces.
Come on,
You
that was
do.
funny.
Oh, I thought it was. I just kind of ignored you a little
You
bit.
were like just the Sphinx over there, stone
yeah.
cold.
You got gonged on the Gong Show there. I just wanted to just tell you that. But your experience, though, this is kind of funny you brought this story up because you actually had a Randy cat experience recently. Why do you keep your litter box? And I was talking to Brad on the phone just to reel you in on this. And he says, "Oh my gosh, my cat just really
I was
went."
walking by it. It wasn't that I was hanging out near it. I'm just saying that the cat box is near the end of the hall, which happens to be fairly close to
But
my
here's
bedroom door.
the thing I look at. I put the cat box because I have a cat also. I have a cat and a dog. And it's usually in my laundry room and it's across
my
the
laundry
house.
room won't fit. That's the problem. I have a very microscopic laundry room,
Gotcha.
unfortunately. My
Okay.
last place had a great laundry room. It was perfect.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I understand with this mailing offense and this offbeat news we're talking about, but this is day-to-day life here since it's yourself. I think cat feces, based on your litter box experience, based on the mailing story that you just brought to us on the offbeat news, and also when I have to clean the litter box, perhaps could be one of the most vulgar experiences in the world. So I'm amazed it's only probation. That's where I'm going with
Yeah, I know.
digressing.
I'm a little surprised too because there's so many different things that stuff can carry. That it could be. It's almost like sending anthrax.
Well, there's
You know what I
three
mean?
things:
And
dog,
that's a felony.
dog, cat, and human are the most disgusting of the group. You know, I have experience around livestock.
Yes,
and,
you do.
and that's the thing when they eat grass.
Especially sheep.
Stop. But you deal with livestock. They're just eating grass. There's no their waste for some reason I think has to do with the processed foods. I think when it comes to humans and cats and dogs. So that's vulgar, to say the least.
Well, I would say, yeah, that's a mild way of putting it. That's
All right,
for
now
sure.
you're hustling on their phone here. What's going on? There must be breaking news.
Breaking news.
What do you have?
Breaking.
Yeah. What do you have on the beat on the street for your next
Okay,
story?
so you know how like the latest craze is selfies.
Yes, and I just learned about that too.
You didn't know what a selfie was?
Until recently. Well,
Oh,
the term,
Lord.
I knew about taking a picture of yourself, but I called it taking a picture of yourself. Now, it's the hipster phrasing, and I need a dictionary for hipsters. But selfie, I just learned. So
Well, you know,
tell me
there's
about it.
this is unrelated, but there's another version of the selfie. It's called the braggy. Have you heard of that yet?
No.
Well, the braggy is
I'm
the
sure
one,
it has to do with something that you own, a possession of some
exactly.
sort.
It's like the guy or the girl that takes a picture with their new car, their new toy, or their new whatever with them. That's the braggy.
So if I have a pyramid of Coors cans in one of my Facebook pictures, is that a braggy or is that
Are
just...
you in it too?
Well,
Did
yeah.
you take it of yourself?
Of course.
Is it one of those handout?
No,
in front of you?
no.
See, if it's not a handout,
the girlfriend
in front,
took the photo.
No, that's not a selfie. A selfie,
Okay.
you actually have to take yourself. I believe. I'm not quoting.
I've taken.
I don't know what the actual international rules on selfies are.
Yeah, we need to get the
But I'm
Russian
going to
judge
say
on this
that
one.
the idea behind any selfie I've ever seen was
Yeah.
normally taken by someone themselves.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
well, that makes sense considering
It's not
called
just a picture
selfie.
of yourself; it's a picture by yourself, done by yourself.
And I do a lot of those.
I guess.
Is that bad?
That's between you and your
Me and
lovely
my mom.
Michelle.
Okay.
So let's jump over to Denver. You know, there's all
Denver,
kinds of
Colorado.
colorful characters in Denver.
Right.
This guy decided he wanted to be pretty brave, and what does he do? He breaks into a person's house, this lady's house, picks up her cell phone, takes a selfie, and then leaves.
That's self-incriminating. Why the heck is he doing that?
Well, you know, it's interesting because the lady was home at the time. She was
Did
putting her.
they know each other?
They did not know each other. She was putting her kids to bed. She came downstairs. She noticed something was a little strange, and she picked up her phone. And first thing she sees on her phone is this man's picture. Well, evidently,
and was it
kinda,
just a facial
just
shot?
a face picture? Nothing too crazy. Just a face picture.
Well, you know,
And-
people are a little wacky about the
the crazy
photos.
part is he's still on the loose. People say they recognize him, but nobody's actually sure who this guy is. They think he's some
See, if
kind
I
of
were
a
to do
vagrant.
that, I would have like a fake mustache or perhaps a beard.
Well, first of
and
all, if
just
you're
do
breaking
something
into
weird.
somebody's house, Len, you got bigger problems than
Well,
what kind
yeah.
of picture you're taking.
Well, okay, that's true. Roaming into somebody's house, I would not do.
But now, if you're at a friend's house, that's another story. You could have some fun with selfies. People
Oh,
have
and
done that.
hold on. No, I
People
never
have
did.
done
I
that.
never did a selfie, but also you can have a lot of fun if you steal somebody's cell phone and go into the restroom.
Oh yeah, I know people that have done it more than
and-
once, and you get some pretty crazy pictures.
Yeah, and you
showing
get
up
some
on
Randy Savories right there.
Randy Savories.
Yes.
It would be Savory Randys, wouldn't it? Oh Lord. Okay, so let's go to our international story.
Okay, this is the Olympic story
This is
because
our-
we're going overseas.
It's not actually an Olympic athlete, but
No.
this could be considered maybe an Olympic sport. What this woman's trying to attempt.
What is this woman trying to do?
She is attempting to break the world record for having slept with the most men for 20 minutes or more.
And that is just disgusting. And believe me, I do love the female, anatomy, and I can admit that. I do, as I said, I've got a lovely girlfriend I'm very happy with. Love
Well,
you, dear.
let me give you some statistics on this.
No, you're talking like batting average numbers. Now you're starting to scare me.
Well, this is way beyond batting average numbers. She's looking for like 100,000 men, minimum 20 minutes each.
Why? Why?
Her
Because-
actual quote, this is a quote, it says, "I love fun, sex, and men." That's why.
Well, you can do that with one, perhaps maybe two, and
Even
be a little
10.
be a little more careful
But
about it.
100,000? So, anyway, the math on that, if you figure 20 minutes apiece, it takes 33,000 hours for this to happen, which is the equivalent of 1,375 days or 3.75 years.
Oh my
consecutive.
goodness! But here, how are you
Consecutive.
paying your bills? Are you just staying at these men's homes? I mean, honestly, how are you getting by in life? When do you have time to eat?
She is actually on a European tour, so I'm sure they're accommodating her,
Well,
somehow.
I'm sure from place to place they are, but this is just ridiculous. My perspective is get a life. I mean,
Well-
obviously you're having fun, and believe me, I like Nookie like the next person. But to be perfectly honest with you, that is just gross. That's bad
I don't know.
hygiene.
It's Europe. She's focusing mostly on Poland and European men. She said, most of my effort's going to be throughout Poland, and then she's like, then I'm going to spread out to Europe as I need to.
I can, I only can imagine the sight in my brain, and it does not.
I don't
it's
know.
not
It just
pretty.
sounds really wrong.
But
to
especially,
me too.
when you watch the movie European Vacation with Chevy Chase, and when they portray the European women, the hairy legs and the armpit hair and all that, I just get really just grossed out.
Well, they're not
by
all
it.
like that. I got to tell you, I've been.
Have you been to Europe?
Oh yeah, I've been to Europe a couple
Really?
times, and they're not all like that. Just
I've been
depends
to
on
New
what-
Mexico.
Well, if you've been to, I don't want to say it, but if you've been to a couple schools that we know of, maybe if you're real granola, you can find that too.
Oh well, I see. That's the thing. That's the portrayal of Europe I always get. Is
Yeah, you're
that-
thining of the girl with hair on her legs and under her arms, and
Yeah,
looked like she got buckwheat
remember
in a
when
headlock.
Clark? Yes, in
Yeah.
European Vacation. If you remember the movie, when Clark Griswold, because when they're in the hotel in England, there's no numbers on the door, so he goes into the wrong room with a blonde that's turned around that looks like Ellen Griswold, his wife, and it's not his wife. It's a woman that has hairy legs and hairy everything else.
Yeah.
And his famous line is, "Oh, Ellen, when did you stop shaving your legs?" I see. That's the only thing I keep thinking about with this horrific story.
It's funny because there's some of that there, but not as much as you'd think.
Really? I thought
Yeah.
it was just everybody.
No, I mean it's not uncommon there, I should say, but it's definitely changed.
Okay,
know,
well, they what, 20 years ago? 10 years ago? When?
I don't know. I'm sure you can still find it.
I mean, because you look at it this way, our friends, our Canadian friends, which I have a ton of them, but we both play hockey, but it's like style in Canada is kind of like 10 years behind the United States in some ways, if you haven't noticed. The mullet still is raging, and then that could be 20 or 30 years back.
Well, some of those guys on the farm don't really get TV, so what
Well,
are you gonna do?
that could be kind of true, but that's a true of here in America in certain areas, but it just seems like, they're up in the attic 10 years behind. Love them to death. And as I said, I got some of the best friends in the world there from Alberta and whatnot. So, but I just have to laugh. That just culture-wise, sometimes they're about 10 years behind.
Yeah,
So what would you say Europeans are?
I think it depends on what it is.
Hairy legs is about 50, 60 years plus years, behind.
Well, I don't know if that's considered a hygiene thing or a style thing or not.
I think it's style and hygiene, and you can
be.
whip them into one.
Yeah. Could be.
All right. Well, now you've totally grossed me out.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. I read that and I was like, ugh.
On that note, we must go. It's been a fast and furious Wild Jokers here on 24/7 Comedy Radio for Phoenix. Funny 1260 AM, 96.1 FM. For Brad, I'm Len. Have a great weekend. AM 1260, 96.1 FM.